think that it's really important to always be curious when you are looking for a new job or entering some sort of career transition. You know, it's uncharted territory, and it's important to talk to people and ask questions and understand how did they make it. Maybe I can make it that way too. And so that is why I'm making this video. And today I actually wanted to give you guys the chance to hear about another person's story of transition. I wanted to introduce you guys to one of my colleagues who also joined my company through the internship program. So I wanted to introduce you guys to my friend and colleague, Moon. Can you please tell the audience your name and introduce yourself?
So, Moon, but full name, Muneerah Abdulrahman, and I'm Nigerian. So, I'm a product designer.
So what is your story? How did you get here?
Okay, so actually I studied mass communication for my university degree. So when I finished, in Nigeria, there's something we call national service. You do it for a year after uni. During my service year, I was kind of down, you know. It wasn't like I didn't have a job because I was working at a radio station at that particular point, but it wasn't fulfilling. That's the word I would use. So I wanted something more, and I was interested in tech, but I didn't know how to code. And for a long time, I really thought that you needed to know how to code to get into tech, which I found out in my service year that wasn't true. So one of my friends, who is actually a product designer too, he was telling me about UX design and UI design. The moment I read about UX and UI design, I was like, yeah, that's it. I was hooked. I knew, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And then after that, I registered for the Coursera Google course.
Now, everyone's length of transition is different. How long did your career transition take, and why did it take that long?
It took a while, because from the moment I learned about UX design and I told myself I was interested in it, I knew I was interested in it. I had other obligations. I still had to find a job that would pay the bills, you know. So I was job hunting, and at the same time I was trying to learn UX design on the side. So
which is a reality of most people who are trying to get into UX design.
It is, because even if you're transitioning in that particular period of time, you still have to pay the bills. There still has to be an income somewhere. So as at that time, I wasn't getting the jobs I was applying for. So I got into this depressive state, because it was just rejection mails after rejection mails, and I was just tired at the point. So at that point, I wasn't thinking about UX design. Like, I actually abandoned it for a while. Maybe like 6 months or so. I just wasn't in the mood, the right frame of mind for it. Basically like a year and a few months, really. But if I wasn't in that depressive rut that I found myself at that particular time, I think my transition would have been faster. So it was all over the place. It wasn't a linear process, because I was looking for other jobs, but I wasn't getting them. And the mistake I made was not redirecting my energy to learning UX design and focusing on that. Instead, I was too fixated on the fact that I was getting rejection emails. So I let that get to me. Looking back now, I wish I had redirected all that energy into UX design. I would have transitioned way faster than I did.
But I mean, everything happens for a reason, and you're where you are now.
And I'm here right now.
How did you battle your loss of motivation, and how did you kind of refuel that fire?
I started working. I got a job eventually. It just wasn't fulfilling, you know. I wanted more for myself. I think the fact that I had a job, I was able to pay my bills, it gave me the peace of mind that I needed to focus on the UX. So I did that. And I got one of my friends, the one who told me about UX design from the beginning. He sent me a link to the UX cabin internship, and that was it.
What's been surprising or unexpected for you in your career so far?
I didn't think I was going to be so busy. I mean, I love the fact that the job is flexible, yes, because we're working remotely. But I feel like because it's a different time zone for me, I I spend a lot of my hours at work now than I used to before. Because it's when it's morning for me, you guys are still sleeping, and I just don't want to waste my morning. So I'm up to something already before everybody else wakes up. And then when you guys wake up, I also want to overlap with your time, just because that's when everybody's around and you might need me for stuff. So the hard part for me, or the part I wasn't expecting, is that I had to create a very strict time management routine for myself where I don't go beyond my work hours. So it was kind of challenging finding that balance between being ahead of you guys and still syncing with you when I'm needed. That wasn't something I was expecting would happen, really. That's one. And two, I didn't expect to have multiple full projects at once. So I don't know, for some reason I thought it was going to be like, you do this project, when you're done, then you move to the next, when you're done, then you move to the but yeah, I think that's it's the way it is with us now because we work at an agency.
What is one piece of advice that you would want to give a newbie that you didn't particularly know going into this?
First mistake you could make when you're transitioning is looking at the big picture. You're looking at the future when you should be getting started. Don't get fixated on when will I be able to do that. More like, let me start now. So because I spent a lot of time wondering if I would get to that point, and those time I could have redirected them to actually doing something. So just get started. It doesn't matter how old you are or how skilled you are. As far as you have the interest, you can put in the time and you're ready to acquire the skills, then you're good to go.
Internships and getting jobs can be a little hard. There's a lot of competition. What would you say was your it factor in helping you land your internship and then your job?
I feel like I was sincere about, my journey so far. I didn't hide the fact that I gave up at a point, because I actually didn't think of taking that part out. I didn't want to say that because I felt like maybe they would think, oh, if we give her a job, she might give up, and then we won't have an intern, stuff like that. So I was worried that being in the video would be like a negative for me. But I kind of feel like it was that sincerity and the tenacity that I went back to it anyways.
And what about, what do you think, obviously not all of the interns were given a job. Why do you think that you were given that chance?
I think I had stronger UI skills than the UX part, which is also a good thing. But if I was to say what stood out, I think they just really loved my final projects because I went all crazy with the UI and all of that. So
yeah, your project looked really nice. Your UI I was actually surprised. I saw your final project and I was like, wow.
As far as you're in internship, then you need to put your best foot forward because they're watching your colleagues. It's not just the hiring manager or whoever, but the people you work with, because they're going to be asking them, do you like working with this person? Do they do their tasks well? Everybody you're working with, they're probably going to ask them about you. So you need to make sure that you're on good terms with everyone. You're doing what you're supposed to do. It doesn't mean you have to be like a kiss ass or something. Just be yourself. But at the same time, you're there to prove that you can do the job long term. So you need to work like you're there long term. You have to prepare for that. So that's
yeah. And with our company, there's so many designers, and we don't realize it, but there's a lot of back end chatter amongst everybody about what they think about all of the interns.
Exactly.
So it is really important to present your best self. Okay, well, Moon, that's it. Thanks so much for sitting down and talking with me.
I can't wait to watch the video. This was fun.
All right, everybody, you know the drill. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video valuable. I'll see you next time. Bye.